Right, so first of all we're going to have a look at quadratic equations because quite a few people, despite all the years of practice, are still struggling with quadratic equations. So we're going to have a look at those first, and let's have a look at, so first of all we're going to expand some brackets and we'll see what happens. And that's not very nice. Should try something else. What might give us? Oh, big fat one, that's no good either. Hang on. Okay, so let's start with this one, x plus 2 times x minus 3. We're going to expand it, and if you remember, the best way to do it is to use this sort of smiley face method. We're going to do the x times the x, we're going to do 2 times the minus 3, we're going to do the x times the minus 3, and we're going to do the 2 times the x. So we're going to times those four things together and get our nice smiley face. If we do the x times the x, I get the x squared. And then I'll do the x times the minus 3, so I'm going to get minus 3x. I'm going to do the 2 times the x, it's going to give me 2x. And I'm going to do the 2 times the minus 3, it's going to give me minus 6. And these middle two always come together, so I'm going to get x squared minus 3x plus 2x is going to be minus x, or minus 1x. Minus 6. Okay. Now, the reason I'm doing it this way is that we should hopefully be able to see now that if I take these two numbers, the 2 and the minus 3, if I do 2 plus minus 3, I'm going to get minus 1, this number here. If I add the two numbers together, I get the number in the middle, minus 1 lot of x, or the number of x's. If I do 2 times by minus 3, then I get minus 6. Okay, so the numbers add to make the number here, and the times to make the number at the end. And if I can remember that, then I should be able to factorise basic ones where it just looks like, you know, x squared, so many lots of x, and a number at the end. This sort of thing here. So let's just clear this and try going the other way. Okay. So if I had, for example, x squared, what should we say, plus 3x minus 10, and we're going to try and factorise it first of all, and normally it's going to be equal to 0, isn't it? Which, you know, like in the exam paper, we're trying to find the zeros of a quadratic equation. So we wanted it to be equal to 0, but you can see the other video for more clarification. So we're going to have, you know, x, and we're going to have x here, and we're going to have, so now we're looking for a couple of numbers. And what we said before was that the number should times to make the end one, and add to make the middle one. Okay, and if you're not sure, write out some brackets, expand it, and see what you get. And, you know, so you should then see that the numbers times to make the last one and add to make the middle one. You don't need to necessarily remember it, you can just try it from first principles. Now it's a minus 10, it's not 10 by itself, so they've got a times to make minus 10, so I know that they're going to be a plus number and a minus number, because a plus times a minus gives you a minus. And with 10, there's a couple of choices. I've got 1 and 10, and I've got 2 and 5. And to an extent, you just got to play about and have a think which pair is going to work best for you. I'm thinking, because the difference between 5 and 2 is 3, that it's going to be something to do with the 5 and 2. The 1 and the 9 isn't going to work very well. It's, you know, I'll be looking at getting minus 9 or plus 9, or, you know, which is no good for me. So I'm going to try the 5 and the 2. I've got to end up with plus 3 as well, plus 3x in the middle. So I guess the positive number here is going to be the bigger one, and this is going to be the minus 2. So now I've got two numbers that times to make minus 10. They add to make plus 3 in the middle there. So I reckon that's the correct factorisation. And then remember, because they're going to equal 0, you know, this bracket times this bracket equals 0. So whatever's in this bracket has to make 0 to make, if it's going to be true. So the x would have to be minus 5, because minus 5 plus 5 would give me 0. So my first solution is going to be x equals minus 5. And then my second solution here is going to be plus 2, because 2 minus 2 would be 0. And then it doesn't matter what this is, anything times 0 is 0. So that could be the other potential solution. I could have 2. And I've factorised and solved it. If you get a quadratic equation that's a bit more complicated, like 2x squared plus 3x plus 1 equals 0. You could factorise it, and there's people in the group that are comfortable doing this and understand it, and you can factorise it from there. What I suggest is if you're not happy, if you're not confident with factorising things with a coefficient before the x squared, more than one lot of x squared, then use the formula. But for these ones here, for the simple ones where it's x squared and these numbers work out, it's much faster and much more accurate to try and factorise them before you use the formula. It's very easy to make a mistake with the formula, and so if you can try and get your basic factorising sorted out, because it'll speed things up and you're much less likely to make a mistake. Only if you've got so many lots of x squared, go to the formula. Okay, right, so that's that.